O thou circle, be thou meeting place of love, joy and truth, a shield against all wickedness and evil, a rampart and a protection for all who stand within. Wherefore do I bless thee and consecrate thee in the most potent and powerful of names. Kernenos, Oradia. Ye mighty lords of the watchtower of the east, Eurus, lord of air, I do summon, stir, and call thee up to guard this my circle and witness this my rights. Ye mighty lords of the watchtower of the south, Notus, lord of fire, I do summon, stir, and call thee up to guard my circle and to witness my rights. Ye mighty lords of the watchtower of the west, Eurus, lord of water, I do summon, stir, and call thee up to guard my circle and to witness my right. Ye mighty lords of the watchtower of the north, Boris, lord of earth, I do summon, stir, and call thee up to guard my circle and to witness my rights. I bid thee hail and welcome. May the door be open that the god and goddess may enter herein. I exercise thee, O thou creature of water, that thou cast out from thee all the impurities and uncleanlinesses of the spirits of the world of phantasm. Therefore do I bless and consecrate thee in the name of. Blessings be upon this creature of salt. Let all malignity and hindrance be cast all thence from, and all good enter herein. Wherefore, as water purifies the soul, so the scourge purifies the soul. Water purifies the body, so the scourge purifies the soul. Water purifies the body, so the scourge purifies the soul. Wherefore do I bless thee, that thou mayest aid me, in the mighty name, Clonius, Arada. Radia, come be present with us this night. Radia, Mother, who's come in sadness this day. Mother, who's come in sadness this day. And she holds the blade in which she will make the decision this day that it is the time, and the time that has come for this time for her lover, her husband, her great king, to be sacrificed for the good of many, for the good of all, for the good of the planet and the animals. And we do this, and he does this joyfully, and we do this in symbolism today because there is no priest to sacrifice. The seed, the bread. Farewell, O sun, ever returning light. The hidden God who ever yet returns, who now descends through the gates of death, to sit enthroned, judge of men and gods. The mighty King, the host of air. And even though unseen around the circle, he is ever present in the newly reaped seed and corn and grain. For that who has not been born and have not died, we neither weep, for we will be in joy. Hail the King of the corn. Hail the God who will die for us to be yet reborn. Hail to the King. Hail, the King is dead. Hail, the King is dead. Hail, the King is dead. Long live the King. Hoof and horn, all that I shall be reborn. Hoof and horn, all that I shall be reborn. Corn and grain, all that fall shall rise again. Hoof and horn, all that I shall be reborn. Corn and grain, all that fall shall rise again. Hoof and horn, hoof and horn, hoof and horn, hoof and horn. Hi guys, Gothic Witch here. I thought I'd give you a sample of my ritual. I thought I'd show you. Obviously, it's a much bigger affair when it's done in a huge coven, and it's a much nicer place, probably done outside in the woods. But this is all I can manage indoors. But it is good that you still do ritual, even if you can't do it with a group. So it's honouring the fact that the God has sacrificed himself so that the corn may be sustainable for us over the winter, and then he will be reborn again as a child. So the mother, the goddess, is in mourning from now till she finds herself with child, and then, as I say, it then starts again, the circle starts again. But Autumn Equinox is also about the light and the dark being the same, so they're equal. A lot of people find at this time they go through a bit of a turmoil, because the equinox is quite a strange time, and it can make things happen that may not have happened. It makes life a little bit more like being stuck in the mud. So if you feel like a bit drained or things not going right, it could be down to the equinox, because planetary stuff does affect us humans. So it's strange to be doing this sort of ritual. I'm used to doing more Norse stuff now, but I thought I would put this out for those that are like interested in Alexandrian. This is just like a taster of what Alexandrians do. You know, if you're in a proper Alexandrian circle, it is brilliant. The ritual is like very perfect. That's the only way I can put it. Everyone's words are word perfect. Everything's done word perfect. All the decorations are perfect. Everybody's dressed perfect. The scenery is perfect, and it is a nice experience to go through. So yeah, I just thought I'd do that. We haven't quite finished, so I'm going to break the bread and offer the drink. Obviously with no priest here, we can't, I can bless it, but not in the same way. So what I'll do is I'll get the drink. The chalice is the womb of the mother, the great mother. And normally in the coven at this time we'd have a huge chalice, because it represents the womb that the god will be going into to sleep. So once he's in the chalice, in the womb, he's within the great mother, and she looks after him and nurtures him and keeps him safe. So we call that the underworld. The underworld is basically unseen. He's out of business till he's reborn, but he's here in spirit. And when you eat your bread and stuff like that, you can remember him for what he's done. Okay, it was his seed spilt. So yeah, so you get your chalice, and normally you would have a priest with you he would hold the chalice and I would hold the athame, and you would we call it, you know, it's the blessing of the wine, but it's also classed as a token version of the great rite. So basically he would say his words and I would say my words, but because of today I'm not going to be doing that. It's pretty sacred, that bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bless it. So motive. And we offer over that bit to the god, and take a sip yourself, pass it around if you had any members, and each person would say blessed be, because each one is blessed in the eyes of the gods. So then we take the bread, and we would also draw a pentagram like that, and you'd say bring in joy, because the priest does this. You know, I never used to have to say it that much, so so you would go bring in, bless this bread, and then you would go in, bring in virtue and peace and joy and all things that blessed brings together. The words are more of the priest's job. I mean, I did know them, but it's been a while since I've been in Coven. But you can look up the words. I can find them and maybe put them down there. But yeah, it's the sacred part. And then you'll break the bread. Whoops. Break the bread and you pass it around. Okay, a bit. When I made that bread, excuse me, I put some rosemary in it for remembrance. To remember what we've been given to sustain us. It's a bit hard. It would sustain us over the winter. If we was living in the old days, everything that's done in the, because these are like the harvest festivals as such, and there's more than one. So this is like the seeds and the corn, and that would have been stored up in the village to get people through for the next however many months. Same with Samhain, which is Halloween. The same thing there, but it's the meat. So it's basically getting all their food stored up, so they've got to have a good harvest to get all this stuff and store it up. And that sustains people in the village for the whole time of winter. So yeah, it all depended on if the god come back, if he blessed their crops. This bread's hard, sorry. Anyway, you can also do a libation. Normally you would use what's in your chalice, and you just pour. You say somebody needed help, or it's a bit like praying, but you libate. So you, because it's been blessed, and it's like a blessing from the god and the goddess. When you pour it into the water, the salt water, you're basically, and you say what it is you want. Say for example, Granny's not well, so you say, my Gran's not well. I ask a blessing from the god and the goddess as I pour this as a libation. And that should be like a spell, and it should work and should help them. So yeah, these are all the little things that we do in Gardnerian. I'm not sorry, not Gardnerian, Alexandrian. You have to excuse me, my mind's gone completely blank today. But I wanted to do it today because it is Mabon, and it's only right to do the festivals if you can on the days that you're supposed to do it. The other, on the other side, which I might do a video on, is the Norse tradition one, which is called Horst Blot or Housed Blot, and it is exactly the same sort of ritual, only not done this way. Basically, it is about feeding the elves and things like that outside, which we don't have a lot of in town. But it's basically for protection for their villages, keeping them safe, making a deal for the following year, and making sure they've got enough to eat again. So again, it's another harvest festival, but it's the Norse version, because they have harsh winters as well. So they have a lot more to deal with than what we do in this country. But I might do the ritual for that. I'll probably do that tomorrow, because it's too much to do too much in one day. It takes it out of you when you're doing ritual. So even though it makes you feel elated, it also is a lot of preparation, and so afterwards it is quite tiring, especially when you get older. When you're young, you don't notice it so much. Anyway, once you've done all that, normally we would pass the light. No, that's in spring equinox. We don't pass the light around. Don't quote me on that one. But what we do is, there's normally a little bit of magic we do with an apple. I haven't got any apples, and the magic for the apple is not really beneficial for me, so I'm not going to be doing any magic. You can give thanks. You can throw thoughts of what you have gained and give thanks for that. You can throw a piece of paper into, or burn it in the candle, and basically write down what it is you have achieved, whether it be something you last year in ritual said you wanted to achieve. Then you can give thanks to the god. You can receive blessings from the god and the goddess. When you're in coven, obviously the high priest and high priestess of the ritual would go around, and they would sometimes they would use horrible stuff, like just to get you out, like mustard, and stick it on your lip. It burn. You think, oh, what's that? But no, normally they would give you a message, or they might receive a word for you. But you can still do that yourself. You can have a pack of tarot cards or something, and just lift a card and say, have you got a word for me, my god and goddess? And they might give you a word for you to be able to sustain you through the winter, because let's face it, everyone hates the winter. I know I hate the winter. I like the thought of being indoors with the fire roaring and all that, but then you've got to brave it outside, so no. Also, you get lots of flu bugs and stuff, and no, I don't like winter. Anyway, I am going to leave it there for this ritual. It was just a quick one, so I'm going to, you always close circle, you always have food. So normally we would have a feast of food, so you would have like a big plate with like fruits and meats. If you keep to the right way, you would only have breads and seed stuff, so maybe some fruit and some seeds. So you would have bread and crackers and stuff like that. You wouldn't have meat so much. So you have all the meat at the Samhain ritual. So yeah, at the end of the day, this is a very small ritual, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what it's like, as I'm trying to help people to actually see if it's something they want to do. Anyway, I'm going to close circle now, so I'm going to clap my hands, because that's what we always used to do. I have my sword, and we're going to close the circle. So you normally start in the east, and you point the sword downwards this time, and you say, "Ye mighty Lord of the Watchtower of the East, Eurus, Lord of Air, we do thank ye for your attendance at this rite, and ere ye depart to your fair and airy realms, and we bid thee hail and farewell." And you go to the south, pointing it down again. "Notice, ye mighty Lord of the Watchtower of the South, Lord of Fire, we do thank thee for thine attendance at this rite, and ere ye depart to your fair and fiery realms, and we do bid thee hail and farewell." Then round to the west. "Ye mighty Lords of the Watchtower of the West, Zephyrus, Lord of Water, we do thank thee for thine attendance at this rite, and ere ye depart to your fair and watery realms, and we do bid thee hail and farewell." Then round to north again, we say, "Ye mighty Lord of the Watchtower of the North, Boris, Lord of Earth, we do thank thee for thine attendance, and ere ye depart to your fair and earthly realms, and we do bid thee hail and farewell." Hail and farewell. And that's it, my friends. That is one ritual sorted and done. So I hope you got something out of it. You know, it's very difficult to do a ritual on your own, especially when you're used to doing one in a coven base. But obviously, as you get older, you don't go into retirement, but you become solitary. There's no way I would be able to keep up with some of the youngsters in a coven nowadays. It's too much running around, too much getting up and getting down. And to be honest, my bones are getting older now. So yeah, I'm not in retirement because I'm doing other stuff, but I'm not in an Alexandrian coven anymore. So I'm taking it a little bit easier than what you know, you have to as you get older. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to wish you all a wonderful autumn equinox, Mabon, or, as I said before, Horstblot. And I will be back later this week with the second in the series of training. So if you watched the first one, you'll be getting the second one this Friday. Hopefully it'll be dropped by Saturday, because I will do it on a Friday, being Freya's Day. I like to do it on Freya's Day. So yeah, you'll get it dropped into your, if you subscribe, you will see it in your notifications on Friday. Hopefully Saturday at the latest. For those who haven't seen it, go along and have a look. It is the first one of a series of training videos. So come along and have a look, and if you like what you see, please give me a subscription and a like, because that helps the channel and it helps me get to more people. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to say thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you very soon. House of Alang.